Hello everyone, it's Lane again. Today we're going to create a new custom weapon and add it to the vanilla BattleTech game. We will look at the different attributes inside the JSON file which defines the weapon and what they do. I'll go in depth to the best of my knowledge for each field. Before we do that, it's worth talking about the different resources available to any prospective modder. First, let's talk about the cab files, which is the community asset bundles. It's a publicly available resource for modders to use. It has 3D models and mechs that are not in the vanilla game. The only caveat is you have to create the mech def and chassis def files to add them into the game, which is something we will do when we get to our video about creating mechs. Second thing I want to talk about is discords. I could not have gotten as far as I have without the help of many people in several discords. The two discords that come to mind right off the bat are BTA3062 and RogueTech. Both discords I know have a separate area on their forum or on their Discord for questions and answering and talking about modding. Huge help there. You can get a lot of feedback, suggestions on how to do things. Definitely worth looking into. And then GitHub is the third thing I want to talk about. There's a group on GitHub. It's a modding resource called BattletechModders group, spearheaded by Jamie Wolf, Electo, and Captain Moore. So, with that being said, those are things you should consider when starting out on your modding journey. So, before we get into making stuff, let's talk about one last thing. Component types. There are several component types for each JSON file, and if you don't correctly identify the component type to the right type, to the correct type, I should say, if it's a mismatch, then it won't show up in the game. It'll just be an error, and it'll either cause the game to not load at all, or it just won't show up. So that's something to take note of. So the types are upgrade, which is basically anything that's not a weapon, ammo box, jump jet, or heatsink. Could be a cockpit, could be sensors, could be partial wing, could be anything you want. Okay. Weapon type. Um, Weapon is self-explanatory. It's a component type for weapons. Ammo box, it's a component type for ammo boxes, which is the physical thing you drop onto your mech in the mech lab. Jump jet is used for jump jets and defining jump jets, and heat sinks is used for, as you guessed, heat sinks. So with that out of the way, let's get started creating your first weapon. The first thing you're going to need to do is go to your BattleTech root directory. If you don't have a mod folder, you're going to need one. So you're going to open up your mod folder, okay? The first thing you're going to do is you're going to have to install or you're going to have to download Mod.Tech. Mod.Tech is super important when it comes to creating mods and anything mod related. It's the core, absolute quintessential thing you need to download. So if you go to GitHub and go to the BattleTech modders group, I'll put a link in the description for everything. There's Mod.Tech. You go to releases. Then you go to release and you hit download zip. Now I've already done that. So what you do is, I'm not going to do it on my screen, but I'll do it for you as a demonstration. So you select everything but the mods folder, right? This gets dragged directly into the root BattleTech directory. Once that's done, take this mods folder, drop it in. When you drop it in, there'll be a folder, Mod.Tech. The .modtext folder is it's used for troubleshooting. Basically, pretend it doesn't there. It's not there. If you delete it, anytime that you reload the game, it'll create a new one. We'll get more. We'll talk about that folder more in the future. Okay, so next step is you need to create a weapons folder. So just name it weapons. Create a folder named weapons. Okay. Now you'll notice there's a mod.json folder here. First thing you're gonna do is you're gonna go to the mod.tech folder, and just to save yourself some time here, hit copy on the mod.json, Any folder that you need that you want to have things go into the BattleTech game, there has to be a mod.json. So what you're going to do is you're going to copy that mod.json and you're going to paste it in here. All right, when you open the mod.json, whatever is in here, whatever is in here, you're going to look at my description and you're going to copy the description and you're going to paste it in there. Okay, this has all the paths you're going to need. Any sort of def is a definition, so it basically tells BattleTech what type of equipment it is. Because if I'm not mistaken, when it disregard, I'm not going to get into all that technical mumbo jumbo. All right, now that you have weapons done, right? Okay, so that's great, cool. So why don't we go back to the BattleTech mod root directory, and let's make our own first weapon, and we're going to make a super Gauss rifle. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is going to go to streaming assets, data. We're going to go to weapon. Okay, we're going to find Gauss rifle. Where are you? I'm lost. There we go. All right, so you're going to pick Gauss rifle 0 stock. You're going to hit copy. You're going to go back to your BattleTech mods folder. Go to weapon. Go inside the weapons folder. Paste it, and we're going to rename it. It's going to be Gauss rifle super. Okay. So now let's go through the JSON file and top to bottom, and we'll talk about everything there is to see about it. Category refers to the hard type that it's going to use, hard point type. Ballistic is ballistic. Type, it's a Gauss rifle. Weapon subtype is Gauss. I don't touch those generally. I leave whatever type weapon that I'm basing it off of. Minimum range, max range, self-explanatory. The range split basically gives you a different, there's different penalties to hit depending on what bracket the target's in range-wise. That's something you need to touch. Okay. After that, we have ammo category ID. This is used to denote what type of ammo it uses, what category of ammo it uses. So it uses Gauss ammo. That's fine. Starting ammo capacity. If you put this on a mech and then you didn't put an ammo on the mech, like a ton of ammo, it would be empty. But if you set this to 10, it would start with 10 shots, right? Okay. So heat generated is how much heat generated when fired. Make that 10. Why not? Damage is how much damage each shot does. Let's make it 100. Overheat damage. Does it do extra damage on a target that's overheated? Evasion damage multiplier does more damage based on how much evasion the person has. Evasion pips ignored. How many evasion pips does it ignore? So if a locust has 6 pips and you shoot a Gauss rifle at it and it says an evasion pip of 1, the game only sees the locust having 5 evasion pips, basically. And your accuracy will be based on that. Damage variance. So the damage can do plus 25 or minus 25. So in theory, that should do 75 or 125 on hit. Heat damage is how much heat it generates on the target when it hits them. It's set to 0 by default. Structure damage, how much damage does it do the structure when it hits the target. Accuracy modifier, -1. A negative number is actually a increase in accuracy because the game calculates accuracy based on different factors that based on chance to hit. So if you have a negative if you have a negative accuracy modifier, that gives you a better chance to hit, and whereas something has a target move gets a +3 chance to hit. So if you move, it makes it harder to hit. So a negative number would take away from that +3, if that makes sense. Critical chance multiplier. Okay, chance to critical hit. 1 is standard. AoE capable. Does it do AoE damage? Indirect fire capable. Can it fire indirectly? Refire modifier. Is there accuracy? Is there an accuracy penalty if you refire the weapon afterwards? Shots when fired. How many projectiles are shot, or how many shots are fired in a salvo? Projectiles per shot. How many pellets are in a each shot? Attack recoil. How much recoil is inflicted on self when firing? Instability is how much instability enemy target will take. So let's make this 10. Okay. Can't explode. Does it do damage to self when explodes? That is true. Weapon ID effect. This is the Unity visual effects when you fire the Gauss rifle. Description box. This says some information. This description box usually pertains to information that's in the tooltip when you hover over an item. So let's make the manufacturer BattleTech. Let's make the model Super Magnetic Cannon. UI name is Super Gauss Rifle. And to figure out where these fields populate in game, we're going to put these numbers to figure out where they pop out. One, I'm pretty sure that pops in game, and this one is inside the mech lab. We'll find out for sure though. So okay, that's just a description. That if you hover over, I'll tell you. And just so you guys can see all the things that we changed. Oh dear, hold on. Just so you can see all the things we changed, I will make this test. This is a test. One second, I got someone talking in the background. Okay. Now that that's situated, all right. So bonus A and bonus B. Those just test 1, and we'll put test 2. I'm just filling these out so you guys can see what they do. Component type, what we talked about earlier, important, weapon. Subcomponent type is weapon. Prefab identifier, whatever you base it on, don't change it. Inventory size is how many slots it takes up in a mech. Let's say 4, let's say 3, whatever. Battle value, I don't know what that does. Tonnage, how much does it weigh? All locations allowed, allowed locations where you can put it on a mech, where you can't put it on a mech. Critical component, if it blows up, the mech dies, I believe. Okay, and the component tags have different effects. A lot of them have to do with what shows up in the shop, how mechs are chose to be deployed in missions and stuff. It's kind of advanced. We'll get back to it another time, but we don't want to confuse you. So let's do the Super Gauss, okay? And cool, but let's make it wacky before we do that. Let's say when shots fired, it shoots 10 shots, 1 projectile per shot, and has no recoil, because why not? It doesn't make sense. Okay, so we'll save it, and we're gonna load up BattleTech, and we're gonna see if I actually did it correctly, and if I didn't, then it'll be a good exercise in troubleshooting. Okay. If you want to save yourself the hassle of seeing this this intro every time you load the game, get the skip intro modlet. You can just drop it in the mods folder, and you never have to deal with it again. But I took it out so you guys can see what it looks like in vanilla. All right. So now we're gonna pick a mech. We'll go to King Crab because it's got a list of card points, right? We will strip it of equipment, and of course I fucked it up. Now, what did I do wrong? Do you guys know? I know what I did wrong. So, right here, weapon ID. this ID always has to be the same as the file name. So let's change that. Now, this should work in theory. Okay, so now we're going to load the game and we're going to check the Super Gauss rifle out that we just made. And we're going to go look at it in the mech lab, and we're going to go over, going to test it in the game against actual mechs. So this will be a fun experiment. Hopefully you guys enjoy it. All right. In future videos, I'll have the skip intro so we don't have to watch it time and time again. All right, so let's take an annihilator actually, because we want to be complete assholes. All right, so there it is, the Super Ghost Rifle 1. Okay, there's the description: test 1, test 2 for bonuses, and then test. This is a test. It's 100 damage, does 10 shots. Okay, but 1, 2, 3, 4, and we gotta get ammo for it, which there is, because it's a lost tech, it doesn't show up in the actual equipment menu. So here we go, another troubleshooting thing. To save us the hassle of that, we're going to just put the starting capacity. It had 10, so it only get 1 shot a piece. But let's make it 50. 50 per gun. All right. So I apologize. We'll reload the game again, and we will blow some stuff up. Hey, you get to see that sunrise again. Love it. All right, so go back to the mech lab. We're gonna pick an annihilator. We're gonna put the Super Gauss rifles on the annihilator. Strip all the equipment. Put 4 of these. Okay. You know what? Why not put another one? We got weight. All right. So next thing to do is go to single player. This is how I typically test. I test mechs and stuff. So you go to Lance Value Unlimited. Right. Grab this one. This is the copy we made. Okay, we're gonna get the best pilots we can. Doesn't really fucking matter though. Just grab anyone with a good gunnery skill, essentially. Okay. And we're gonna go up against let's go up against 3 Atlases.
Commencing deployment. Mech warriors, prepare for combat.
So it's gonna be fun. This is gonna be a good exercise in practice. I mean, modding can be exciting, but I mean, doing the testing stuff's not super exciting. There's not a whole lot to talk about. So I apologize with the gaps, silence. Just gotta bear with it. Alright, so basically move these guys over as fast as possible. Okay. Here come the Atlases.
Standing by. Hostile on sensors.
To give these guys a fair chance, we're just gonna move all of our guys this turn, and then we'll fire next turn when everyone's in position.
Soldier.
Wow. That was quite the
Can't do
hit.
much more of this. Standing by.
All right.
There.
So this poor guy is gonna get clapped. As you can see, that was pretty cool.
That's a kill.
Got murdered. Obviously, you would never make something like that broken, but
I'm taking internal damage.
just it's a good exercise of what you can do.
Copy that. Hostile eliminated.
Good to go.
All right, let's end this guy. And that wraps up our tutorial on creating your first weapon. Congratulations, you made it. Next episode, we're going to be working on equipment. So look forward to that episode, and I look forward to catching you guys next time. If you like the content, subscribe, comment, like it, whatever. All right, I'll see you guys next time. All right, bye.